go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, bum, bum. 1. Go. Go. And go. Can we do that one more time with all of this?
Creating an original role is the most rewarding. Nobody's seen it before, you know, you can have that freedom to really discover who they are and build it piece by piece.
I was hanging out and talking, and someone had said, I'm reading this really interesting book. It's by this guy named Gregory Maguire. It's about the Wicked Witch of the West and the Oz story from her point of view. And it was one of those moments that happens every now and then, I guess, to someone who essentially does adaptations for a living, that a bell just went off in the back of my head. And I thought, that is so my territory. It's exactly the kind of idea I love. That's just, I thought it was the best idea I'd ever heard.
I respond to makeup, to costumes. It all helps me find the character.
You're one of the few people who can pull off green.
Oh my God.
Great, right?
I'm thinking I want to be green.
You can be pink.
Let's go freak everybody out.
That's pretty amazing.
Give her some space, guys.
In our imagination, the world of Oz is really big. And when it came time to decide, okay, where do we mount this for the first production, I thought, well, if we don't do a full production, we're not going to see how that world affects the storytelling. So the decision was made to spend a little bit more money and do it in a first-class production in San Francisco.
We knew we wanted a proper out-of-town tryout, and we built that into the budget. But what we also did was build in time between San Francisco and the New York opening, which most shows don't do.
I've just learned from my own experience, I find it really difficult to make significant changes in a show while the show is running. You can maybe redo one number or a scene or two, but to really rethink the show and throw out whatever needs to be thrown out and seriously restructure the show, I think it has to be, for me, it has to be while the show is shut down.
When you're doing readings and workshopping a new show, you never know when the money might fall out or something will happen, the creative team will, you know, someone will get another job. It's rare you see something make its way all the way through to the Broadway stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, places please. For the top of Act 1, places please.
Here we go.
Moving, there's a strange exhilaration in such total detestation. It's so pure, so strong. Oh, I do it came on fast. Still, I do believe that it can last.
I think the major thing that we discovered in San Francisco was that we had not really yet solved and delivered the character of Elphaba, our main character.
We love it all. Oh, what is this feeling?
The character of Glinda seemed well defined, but Elphaba's wasn't, and so much of our work this summer has been to make her more present in the show.
The hardest thing with Elphaba was that we want everyone to love her when she comes out so we can sort of break the stereotype of what they've grown up believing about the Wicked Witch of the West. And yet we didn't want her to be too earnest. And so it wasn't until we got to New York that we really started to get that proper balance.
We go to the Gershwin in 2 days and we'll start our tech process. And then really by the time we get done with tech and our show is a big technical piece, we'll have maybe a few days to run the show, and then we'll have our first previews.
Is there more work to do? Yeah, absolutely. And there are things we haven't solved yet. I don't think they're huge things, fortunately, because we don't have time to solve the huge things. But there are numbers we're still working on, and staging we're still working on, and scene transitions and so on and so forth that we're going to try and get right before we freeze the show. I don't go to opening night. I'm too hysterical. And I will not be going to the opening night of Wicked. I will be in Vermont.
The only time you can go on vacation after an opening is if the reviews are, over the top, the greatest show ever, and then you can go away for a little while.
Bar 97, harp and strings.
Yeah, right there. Ba-da-dee-da, that fourth beat, someone's hitting a wrong note, so it must be in the part.
What's it supposed to be? I have an A.
Aha!
Aha! See, I can still hear every now and then. Please fix it. It's probably an A. Can I hear it again?
Yeah.
Have you fixed it?
Yeah. I think we did.
Let's hear it. I'm hearing. Da-la-dee. That's correct. Okay, so it's a player issue. Just be careful. That's what it needs to sound like. All right, so we're going to get set up and we'll do popular.
Okay. You will be popular. You're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper poise when you talk to boys. Little ways to flirt and glance. I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair. Everything that really counts to be popular. I'll help you be popular. You'll hang with the right cohorts. You'll be good at sports. Know the slang you've got to know. So let's start, 'cause you've got an awfully long way to go. Don't be offended by my frank analysis. Think of it as personality dialysis. Now that I've chosen to become a palace sister and advisor, there's nobody to be who you'll be instead of dreary who you were, well, are. There's nothing that can stop you from becoming popular. Lar. La, 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 la. We're gonna make you popular.
The CD came out 3 days ago, and actually the sales have been just great.
But what we're most excited about is that our dance is growing and growing, and the word is spreading, and people seem to be embracing the show in a way that the numbers just keep climbing and climbing.
It's all about popular. It's not about aptitude. It's the way you're viewed. So it's very shrewd to be very, very popular, like me.
I'm still, to this day, when I go to the theater to see the show, I'm a little overwhelmed by the kind of fanatic response to it. I've never had a show that's sort of crossed over into that kind of phenomenon.
La, 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 la. You'll be popular, just not quite as popular as me.
It is freezing. It's one of the coldest winters in ages, and a cold wind is blowing through Broadway. People are staying away from the theatre in droves. Times are lean. It's debatable whether some of the shows are going to make it.
January and February, we did well over $1 million a week consistently. So, and even more amazingly than just doing over $1 million a week, was we built the Advance every single week during the winter, which is, you know, unheard of.
Made Chris and Jenna with a bear. We as in, okay, it was my idea. We made her a bear. Hopefully we'll see her after the show and give it to her.
This is a musical where the lead girl basically says, I'm going to defy gravity, I'm going to do the right thing and be who I am. And the girl who is the beautiful, popular girl learns from the green girl that that's what she needs to do too. And that notion has really tapped into young girls, and I think they relate.
I can see to my right and to my left a little bit of some of the people in the first couple of rows, and there are young kids that come, and when she starts to fly and you see them like have this transcendent experience that is so magical.
Originally I thought it was an adult show, and I realize now it's like kids come with their parents and they get in on a whole different level. I think that's the best part of the whole experience for me, the impact it's having on younger people. When you get tired and the 8 shows a week starts to get you down and you might have a cold, and I try to remember these kids that are out there.
So if anybody hasn't heard, we got nominated for 10 Tony Awards.
You have to, have it in context of the last 30 years to realize that what I say is true. There's one Tony that matters.
And the 2004 Tony for Best Leading Actress in a Musical goes to
Idina Menzel Rickett.
That was the biggest surprise, I think, of the show tonight. I mean, everybody thought Tanya Pinkins was going to win, although there was a sense that Idina Menzel was closing in on Tanya Pinkins. The producers of Wicked should now be breathing a little easier because they looked like they were out of the running there for a bit.
Having experienced something like this once before with Godspell, I can't believe that I've sort of caught lightning in a bottle or been part of something that caught lightning in a bottle twice. And when those two girls come out and the audience shakes the theater with that roar, there's nothing like it.
You hear a daddy saying, and baby Milkman's on his way.
Listen to the rumble and the rattle, old Manhattan, baby, baby. So early you hear a daddy saying, baby, baby.
Let's call it a
This is the very first page I ever did. Over here is some song called Reap the Whirlwind that I had an idea was going to be for Elphaba when she was sort of becoming the witch and kind of her mad scene. This is sort of how I start with things. I just sort of noodle around at the piano, and if an idea occurs to me, I just write it down as a possible, thing that might wind up in the show. But what I discovered when I was looking through this today was that as one of these ideas, there's just a chord change here, which goes like this. And that turned into the song that became what Reap the Whirlwind was going to be, in the spot it was going to be, which is called No Good Deed Goes Unpunished. And this chord change with the riff goes like this. And so on. And that's the riff for No Good Deed. So the very first page of stuff for Wicked has, amidst a lot of stuff that got discarded, the basic change that became No Good Deed, and that's how it works. You can't fall in love with, you can't say like, oh, but I wrote something for that spot. You just have to be willing to let go of it. And I find that the process is investing incredibly in a song and really fighting to get it right. And then the minute it's done, it's like giving birth and then being willing to give up your child for adoption, you know what I mean? Or you have to forget those pangs, whatever the birth pangs were, and be completely objective about it, and if it doesn't work, it's gone.
We work in tandem. There's no fight we cannot win.
There's 3 layers of net over this.
But the scale really shouldn't change that much. But I think with this cutting in, that length right there, that cutting through, is really, really good.
Because I think, Susan, when we do this, you see the first scallops that they come like this, the first ones, the second ones, the third ones, and then the
little one
the
at
little
the
ones.
waist. Yeah.
Wow, that's so Glinda. That's so perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Goodbye, Dorothy. And remember, the road to the Emerald City is paved with yellow brick.
First, you should get Jovi over there.
That's fine. You don't have to. Hi, everyone. I'm not used to it.
Jovi is one of my best friends, and a dresser, which that's not a good word because she's just everything. It's the person that gets you through every show, physically and emotionally. Not only is she responsible for keeping all this stuff, wardrobe and everything together and changing you for quick changes, but she's my emotional support, and she's the one that decorated this beautiful dressing room. I have to put my disclaimer on. I'm a little uncomfortable with having pictures of myself, but in my dressing room. But I figured I have to do it here because I'm not going to have them in my house. That feels funny. So I've decided that anything anyone gives me, even if it has me on it, it's okay because it's the dressing room. And this we did in Vanity Fair. In the beginning, this and this were from those. This Joel Grey is also not only a wonderful performer, but a photographer. And he took this picture and he gave it to me on opening night. And this is me in tech rehearsal having a really bad day, a lot of self-doubt. I'm wearing my Adidas sweatshirt, my hat, and my sulk because I don't know, I probably thought I was going to get fired that day or something. Then I get all these amazing Margaret Hamilton statues. I got this. It's beautiful. And this guy, Carol Shelley, who's in our show, plays Madame Morrible. She had this made for opening night for me. And this is what Stephen Schwartz gave everybody, Piece of the Old Brick Road. Of course, every good witch needs spells and healing. God, like a green Buddha, you know. Anyway, so what do I have? Well, we miss the food, which is very important because at intermission we need to have a sugar rush, and sometimes you don't know how you're going to make it through, and you need some Twizzlers. I have a very strict regimen. I go to my voice teacher a couple months before rehearsal even started, and I really look at all the music and pick it apart and pick out all the most challenging parts. I say, well, I'm going to be 15 feet in the air, smoke's going to be in my face, I'm going to have run under the stage, be out of breath, and then have to hit these high notes. We figure those kind of spots out that are hard to do 8 times a week. I do it way before so that some of that technical stuff is in my body and I can just be free to act. And then I warm up every day, like for a half hour before the show, and I get a lot of sleep. And sometimes I don't have it. Sometimes I hit some clunkers in front of 1,800 people. But for the most part, I've been pretty reliable that way, knock on wood.
As soon as I read Wicked, the novel, the Gregory Maguire novel, I knew right away that this is something that I wanted to be part of. I found it really useful to look at the time period that Baum wrote the book, which is right at the turn of the century. So in many ways, I would call my clothes twisted Edwardian. I also knew, especially when we got to Emerald City, the green of Emerald City, that was a place of high fashion. That was a place where people spent money on clothes. It was really about how you look. This was the dream place that Glinda goes to, which is all about clothes and money and excess of some kind, bling bling, or the Hollywood of its time. And I started playing really early on with this image of also distorting the bodies. Big shoulders or a big hip or big shapes, bustles, and that was really good. I also knew I was developing a language of dressmaking. What I was playing with was setting up a new kind of rule. So if you look closely, no sleeve is alike. This is not a world where everything is balanced, everything has seams. It's all off. It's different than our contemporary eye would look to make clothes. The sleeves are all different, the hats are all off. So it's as if the center of gravity works in a different way.
I came to this project in a funny way, not an unusual way. I mean, they had a designer they fired, and a very good designer, I happen to know, really terrific. And then they cast it around, like they do, looking for someone else to do it. And my wife, who was here a moment ago, had read the book and said, Eugene, it's pretty good, it's a great book. I said, well, what do you want? They said, you know what they say, give us a couple ideas. Give us, and Joe was directing, and Joe was great. So I sat down with a student of mine, and we took a weekend, and I put my director's hat on, and I just did a big model. So he came, I don't know what he expected to see. I think he expected to see a couple little drawings. But then I just did the show my way. Showed him everything, moved it all around. I just, like a director, And he looked at it, and he said, wow, I don't quite see it that way, but this is pretty good. And then the next day they hired me.
It's very unique to have a show on Broadway. It's hard to even describe the shock of it and the feeling of gratitude. One's very aware of how difficult that is to have happen somehow. The sense of the odds stacked against you, the feeling that you've sort of pulled off a miracle. It's hard to describe, but it's there. Even yesterday I was walking in Times Square, looked up and saw our billboard and just couldn't even believe it. I still can't believe it. There's no question that just sit in that big, huge theater and see all these people responding. And the other day I just happened to just sort of drop by, and at the end I noticed that there were these teenage girls just sobbing and hugging each other, and it really made me feel good. I was thrilled.
I'm Norbert Leo Butts, and I'm here at the Curran Theater in San Francisco, finishing up our pre-Broadway run of Wicked. This is the time where we figure the show out, you know? You sort of go to a safe place and learn how to make it better. At this point, I think it's about tightening things, you know? The story is there, the characters are there, and it's just about how do we make it tighter? How do we make it even better? It's terrific now, and how do we make it amazing?
We've had several people in here for nearly a week, dyeing and wiring corn together. A very, very, very time-consuming process. This is the stuff the audience never, ever, ever gets to understand. This is the fallen house. It's getting packed up to get shipped away to San Francisco.